Hey guys, welcome to Franklin Woodworks. In this video, I'm going to make a kerf knife. What in the world is a kerf knife? Well, I really don't know what else to call it, but it's a knife that I'll be able to use when I'm cutting dovetails to mark the pin board. Now, I'm no expert on dovetails. In fact, I've never actually cut a dovetail before. But I watched this great video on the YouTube channel Shop Built on how Rob Cosman cuts dovetails. I'll leave links in the notes below on how to get to both of their channels. Rob Cosman makes the process so easy, I can almost guarantee you'll want to cut some after you watch. Anyway, instead of using a pencil to mark the cut lines where you have to remember which side of the line to cut on, Rob's method uses a knife that is the same thickness as his dovetail saw to mark the pin board. This way, all you have to do is set your dovetail saw right in the kerf you've already made. It should be foolproof. The key word is should. So I start out by making sure I have a blade that is the same thickness as my dovetail saw. In this case, it's 23 thousandths of an inch. To set this blade in a handle, I'm going to have to cut a groove on each half of the handle that is 11.5 thousandths. So, using a digital height adjustment measuring instrument, I set my blade perfectly. I'll be making the handle out of walnut, and I've already got each scale cut to rough size. As you can see, the groove I've cut is pretty shallow. So now I just move my fence to make another cut to get the groove the correct width to allow the blade to set properly. After cutting the first side, I discovered something that I didn't expect. The groove was not 11.5 thousandths deep, but actually 23 thousandths. The only thing that I can figure is that the downward pressure I was placing on the walnut to make sure the groove was nice and even also caused my table saw insert to flex downward, increasing the depth of the cut. So much for plastic inserts. But since it was 23 thousandths, I guess I got lucky. Now I don't have to cut the other side. I cut the blade to length using an angle grinder and smooth out any rough spots with a file. I make sure that the end of the blade that was cut will go inside the handle, and that the teeth are facing the right direction. I use epoxy to set the blade and to join the two halves of the handle. The teeth of the blade will give the epoxy something to bite into and hold the blade in place. I'll clamp everything up and let the epoxy set. Now it's just a matter of shaping the handle to be comfortable in my hand. I have a hand-cut rasp made by RU that is perfect for the job. I use a spindle sander to get out any tool marks from the rasp. After cutting the handle down to the final length, a coat of Danish oil makes the walnut look really nice. So now you get to watch me do part of the dovetail process for the first time. I mean, this is my very first time. I've already made the initial cuts on the tailboard, so now I'm using the tailboard as the template for the pins. The kerf knife goes right into the slots, so I can drag the knife along those slots, making the perfect grooves for the dovetail saw to fit right in.
Oh, you stupid idiot.
Of course, I had to mess something up, but fortunately, the errant kerf I cut is on part of the waist that I'll cut away. My dovetail saw fits into the kerfs just like it should, and cutting the pins is a breeze. But I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to show you the finished dovetails. That would just be embarrassing. It seems that getting the saw in the right spot for the start of the cut is only the beginning. Making a good cut takes practice, but I'm well on my way with the kerf knife. Even though it didn't work out like I planned, I was still able to accurately set my blade height. If you want to see my method, click on the link in the corner. Thanks for watching, and there you go.